On this video, I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown on my 3 recordings of my recorded pitches on the door. I had people hit me up, such as Melanie, Abel, Diego, wanted a more detailed breakdown on how I actually handle the situation and how I communicate with my customers and why I say it and how I say it. So we're just going to give it a breakdown so you guys have a better mindset on how I approach it, and hopefully it helps you as well. So let's get into it.
Hi, sorry to bother you. I'm just actually here to give information about your guys' utility provider.
So basically how I start off is really simple. I'm going to go based off their last name. How I look at that is basically look at an app called LandGlide. I actually pay $10 a month. That's actually throws a lot of people off because most people don't know, like, when they come knock your door, know who you are or what your name is. You naturally get to say yes right off the bat, or they get to say no, right? So it's actually a great way to temperature check, like, is that the actual homeowner? Is it the daughter? Is it the niece, nephew? Because at the end of the day, you want to actually find the person who's on the deed. So in order to shortcut it real quick and psychologically to get into yes mode real quick, I just go based off of what their last name is.
I don't know if you heard about it, but they actually have a plan where they're hiking up the rates in the near future. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Gotcha. Did you guys have you actually moved in this house before?
This house was just built. We just moved in from there.
Yeah, what you guys had before you moved in this house? Electricity.
That's the regular electricity. That was it.
Okay. Don't remember the company, I'm assuming. Okay, no worries. Because if you didn't
So I know that this house is a brand new home. Looking at it, so I was just asking them, like, what previous electric company have you had? And mostly what I'm trying to do is actually dig into pain, like how many dollar amount have you been spending to the local utility company? Because you have to look at electricity as a forever bill, right? So your approach has to be, hey, don't forget that you spend electricity on a previous day that you had, and you spent probably $150, $200. That was what I was trying to do to get in his head a little bit.
basically what it talks about right over here. Basically, they're going to spend $2 billion as a company. You could potentially increase your rate 15% or all the way to 80%, right? What they're doing is, if you look at the other page, that's what they're doing. They're going to start their own solar farm. Yeah, they're going to install 30 million panels by 2030. That's why it's called 30 by 30. The thing is, they don't have $2 billion lying around if you look back at the front page. So someone had to eat up that cost. So
we eating it up.
exactly, Mr. So I'm actually letting you know you have a second option.
So the customer just finally just understood that he actually had a problem. This local utility company that, and you can look it up, that other utility companies are actually trying to build solar farms, vast land or land that has a lot of acres. And basically the energy that we're using is non-renewable, which basically means we're eventually going to run out based on the coal nuclear power plants. So I basically tell him and letting him know that these monopoly companies, because all the electric companies are monopolies, because you got to pay them no matter what, because no person is going to say I don't want electricity, is that basically no matter what future projects that local utility company has or what kind of like money they're spending, I'm just letting him know every single one of the dollar amounts that a local utility company is using is going to the customers. So their money is always under control by the local utility company, and I'm trying to tell them, like, hey, there's a problem that you had, and he just admit that, okay, I'm going to pay like this problem that I have, which is being controlled under local utility company, and they actually have all the control of my money is really what I was trying to tell him, and he understood it right off the bat.
Around with the company, you've probably seen solar all around the neighborhood. You don't have to go solar. It's an optional program that's for homeowners. Because the thing is, the way you guys are purchasing it.
So I just did a takeaway. He basically, if you're in a market that is like in the middle or booming, they probably heard of the product, right? So basically, what I'm telling them is like, hey, it's an optional program. You don't have to do it. I'm just letting you know you have this option, considering you already have a problem. And basically, my pitch is always about I want to give you more information. Right now is not the right time to do so. I'm pretty sure you got things going on right now at this moment. So my job and my purpose is, and I'm not the yes or no guy, is to book an appointment, a date and time. So you at least have the information if you just want to stay your local utility company, or if you want to go solar. But you don't have to go solar, but my job is to give you that information so you can assess which one is the better option for you. Does that make sense? And basically, that's how I book appointments.
It's a forever bill, which means you can't say I want to stop paying it because it's monopolized. So if you did switch over to solar, it's nothing out of pocket cost to you to switch over. I don't know if you ever knew it was nothing out of pocket cost to you. Okay, you have to qualify it. It is true. It's the easiest way I can explain how it works nowadays is it's a bill swap. You pay the same amount or even lower than what you're currently paying. I'm not the yes or no.
So I basically told him like that the product has nothing out of pocket cost to them whatsoever, so they can switch over. And a lot of people actually don't know that. When I first got into the industry, that was like actually a big shocker to me and interested me more. And if you just educate people, and the best way to do is open-ended questions such as, did you know it was nothing out of pocket cost to you to switch over? As long as you qualify, you don't have to do it. But what it does is you have a bill swap, fixed amount, even lower than what you're currently paying, but you prevent yourself from future increases with the local utility company is really what I'm telling him. And really that's what the solution you're offering. So if you can be more about like casual, doing the takeaways, like you don't have to do it, it's nothing out of pocket cost to you. All my job is to do is to show the information. It comes off very like professional, and you're just there just to give info, and more like a concierge or consultant rather than someone that's just looking to get a quick dollar. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
Okay, because you don't have enough information to assess that. I don't know, what would you guys say you're paying on average?
Almost 2 is a change.
Oh, some 200. Oh, that's like a mini mortgage.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Where were you guys before you moved in here?
Oh, is it?
Oh, you got that deal over there too.
Yeah. But shit, we
So basically, I talk about he said 200 some change. Actually, they were paying about 230, 240. And I basically said, wow, that's like a mini car mortgage in a sense. That's a mini mortgage right there. And he was laughing, saying, oh, okay, now I'm realizing what you're saying. So basically, we were building more rapport, got to book a date and appointment, and that's how I read. You can tell that when he finally started laughing and finally understood what I was saying, it was all rapport from there, as you can tell.
Hello. Sorry to bother you.
Yes.
Didn't meant to bother you. You have a really cool Mustang, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just here to give information about your guys' utility provider. They're actually planning on shooting up their rates in the next couple of years. I don't know if you ever heard about that information yourself.
No.
No? Okay.
So as you can realize, my pitch is always the same. The last name, trying to get them into yes mode and tell them the problem, which is the rate hike. Now you're going to realize I said, wow, you have actually a cool Mustang. I really like your car, by the way. When you tell someone like that, it actually, what it's showing is that you're actually paying attention to them. You like the surroundings. You like the effort that they actually put in their home or the design that they home, which actually not only breaks the preoccupation, but actually gets to the level of rapport as well, because it throws them off. You can tell she was thrown off when I talked to her about that.
Because I'm here, but just give that info and just leave. That's about it. Because if you look right over here, it's actually planning on spiking up your rates anywhere from 15% or all the way to 18%. They're doing a $2 billion project. If you happen to flip the other page, right? That's what they're doing. They're actually starting their own solar farm called 30 by 30. So what they're going to do is install 30 million solar panels by 2030. It's a program that's been around since 1980, so it's a pretty old program, but they're actually just going to expand it. And if you go back to the front page, right, it's $2 billion. No one has $2 billion lying around, so they're distributing that cost to the customers instead. Actually, a solar consultant in the area, just letting you know I have a second option. You know the new meter that you have is a smart meter. It used to be clockwise, right? So technically, you get a bi-directional net meter through solar. It's nothing out of pocket cost to you actually, and actually it pulls your energy back to the grid. So you're actually paying the own principle of your own energy, and you're not relying on which is a forever commitment. I don't know if you ever heard about how that works or whatnot, or you heard about it. Okay. Because I usually catch people at a bad time because I'm not like, let's look into solar right now. I don't know what you guys pay on average.
I pay like $100 a month. That's all.
$100.
So,
Oh, you live by yourself.
yeah.
Okay. How old would you say your roof is at the moment?
I have no idea.
Oh, really?
Really? I don't.
Since you moved in, you never changed it, would you say?
No. It's
So you can tell I was just like giving info, and she wasn't talking back to me, which is one of the bad things about sell, or when you tend to pitch at the door, is like you'll go ramble on, and the conversation just makes it one sided. The dangerous thing about that is there's no dialogue going on. Plus, at the same time, the human attention span only lasts about 7 seconds long. So if you keep on talking and not breaking the saying, "Oh, does that make sense? Are you following along with me?" You can see why so many people go this direction, right? If you do something like where they can respond, they can interact, it's just a better, it's a much better conversation and much better interaction for sure. And that's why I asked her like, how much are you paying? How old is your roof? Where are you from? All these questions just so I can get them more opened up. My motto always is like, how are you supposed to close them if you can't open them up? Is one of the biggest messages I got when I was starting off this occupation, this career. So obviously from there, it was a little bit choppy, but I was able to get the appointment. And I think that's one of the biggest messages. You don't always have to be perfect in order to like get the appointment, get it sit down. Because the hardest thing is actually like booking the appointment, and I think the actual pitch is actually probably the easiest part. My personal opinion. But the thing is, you don't always have to be perfect. You don't have to be on point, because people at the end of the day just check your body language, tonality, and who you are as a person. Because ultimately, they're buying you as a person, not buying what's up there in the panels, or they're not buying the thing. They're buying you as a person and the solution you're offering. That the product does, right? Because you're able to explain it, you're able to project that, so they get that transfer emotion and understand it, so they make that leap of faith, right? Unfortunately, she had to cancel it because something came up. I went back and actually rescheduled her, follow up with her, and it ended up being a sale. So that was a great moment. And also the first pitch was a sale. But I want to show you the very last one, which I thought was one of the best interactions I had and ended up not sending. So I just want to show you that as well.
you got a $50 million check from us something?
That's their second guest best that you could get.
Okay, the first one is a
What's that? You probably want to go up. Sorry to bother you guys. Heard a dog. I was like, oh shoot. Dogs. Oh, gotcha. I'm actually just going around the neighborhood, informing homeowners about their utility provider. I don't know if you guys ever heard about their plan on hiking up the rates or whatnot. F guys, electricity provider.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I'm pretty sure you have a couple people talk to you guys about solar and everything. I'm assuming, right?
yeah, they be calling.
So he said, "Do you have a $50 million check?" Basically, what he was saying is, I was at the door. I was trying to greet him. Obviously, no one's home, and I was gonna walk away. Then, as soon as I walk away, a car was pulling up. Basically, they just came back from a car wash, and basically, he was joking, "Do you have $50 million since you're stepping on my property?" And I was saying, "That's a good guess, but actually, you want to have a second guess." So I was just playing along with him. I could tell he was a goofy person, so I knew it was going to be a lot of report base in order to seal this conversation. So when I mention about dogs, or when you have these incidents, just because the United States is one of the countries that has one of the most pets that people have in the household, right? So when a dog freaks out or goes crazy, I don't go right in the pitch as soon as the doors open, because the dogs usually freak out. And the dogs are usually still loud even the doors open. So what I'll say is like, sorry, didn't meant to bother you. I hate being that guy when the dogs go crazy because of me. And they usually go, some of them laugh, some of them don't, but majority will have a positive response, or they'll say, "Oh, you're okay, it happens." And that's when you actually can go directly to the pitch, because now they're giving you permission. Now you're actually lighting the mood for them. So that's what I was mentioning about the dog real quick. But obviously he didn't understand what I was saying, or obviously the interaction was different compared to at the door, compared to at the driveway. So there you have it.
To switch over to qualify to get solar. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that. No, you guys looking at me as like four heads or something.
Let me get my shit. I know right now.
So basically, I realized like they weren't really responding me very well. and they seem confused every time I say about the product is nothing out of pocket. Some people give a strange look as if like they never heard of it. Some people are like, I already heard about it. So basically, the joke I always say is like, I got it from my old manager. Is like, guys, you're looking like I have basically 4 heads behind me, and they usually laugh just because like they're like, oh no, I'm not looking at you crazy or anything like that. Gets them the mood lighting up. Just because I want to keep the conversation going as much as I can and push it.
I'm not here to like tell you guys that you should go solar or give me a yes or no, because I'm not like let's look at the solar right now. Basically,
So now I know that he's committed to listening to me, right? So I know directly that I am here to book the appointment. I am not here to sell you. I'm not here to tell you that solar is the way to go. It's an optional program. Even if you want that option, you have to qualify for it. Right now is not the right time. I would like to set a better date and time because obviously what you want to do is tell them that you're under control. And as a professional, you always want to be in control when it comes to your appointments, your sales, your situation, along with your clients, because that's really the answer. Being a superstar or a super performer is always being under control of the situation and people in front of you and with your product. So yeah, I knew when he was about to sit that I got his attention. I broke his preoccupation, which basically means that whatever he was trying to do, now I got his attention and his attention's towards me, and now I can do whatever pitch I want. I don't have to go on a rush. I don't have to be like, I have to do that within a 3-minute pitch or elevator pitch, then leave. My job is actually now to build a rapport and solidify it and get an appointment.
cost, so they're distributing it to the customers instead. Not electricity is like getting better throughout the years. It's just getting more expensive, just like everything else. So I just go around homeowners, letting them know they have an optional program to go solar. It's nothing out of pocket cost to you whatsoever to switch over as long as you qualify. How it works is you have a bill swap. You pay either the same amount or it's lower than what you guys currently paying. It's fixed. It never goes up.
So you're gonna also realize like sometimes you gotta repeat the things that you just said, just because the human attention span is 7 seconds. So you never want to feel like you're being rude, or sometimes there's moments where you might repeat yourself when you getting educated on certain things like at school or certain product or financing or terms or conditions. I'm pretty sure you have those moments where you repeat the same question that's been thoroughly iterated. It's gonna happen often, very often so. But the thing is, even if you feel like it was a really good conversation, it was long, you had a good rapport, however you want to think about it, it's not guaranteed, right? If basically the rule is like, if you get 10 appointments, 5 of them will sit. Out of the 5, only 2 or 3 will actually buy from you. That's always the model that you always have to keep, no matter how much you feel like the conversation is good. And sometimes like appointments that I thought were never gonna actually sit or go through actually go through, and the appointments I thought was gonna be going really really well actually end up going nowhere. So you always don't want to prejudge or like judge a book obviously based on how it looks and everything. What you want to do is be consistent as much as you can. I think the biggest thing you always want to do, besides like perfecting your pitch, because you always want to go A to Z, you don't want to go P, Q, T, Z, F, G. Then the consumer is going to say, or the customer is going to say, I'm confused, I want to do my research, I don't want to book this appointment, let me look you guys up. You're going to have those frictions coming up as well. So what you want to do is be attentive and always look at the bigger price, be consistent, because that's really the answer of your door pitch. Hope that helped you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.